On the fifth day of Christmas, our video cabinet gave to me this, probably our most random of Christmas Carol adaptations. This one is Rich Little's Christmas Carol. Rich Little is an impersonator, so this is about 50 minutes of non-stop celebrity impressions. Unfortunately, it's 1978. I think I can say pretty confidently that your enjoyment of this is in direct proportion to the number of characters that you recognize. When I was little, I didn't get it at all. I didn't know who any of the people being impersonated were, and so I just thought it was a guy being silly. And that was fine. When I saw it the second time, I knew who maybe like half of the people were, and it was better, and I was like, oh, I actually appreciate this more. Now, I know who pretty much all of the people being impersonated are, and it really made it a much more entertaining viewing experience. It still was pretty silly for a Christmas Carol, and I know that that really doesn't work for some people, but hopefully if you choose to watch this version, you know what you're headed for. In a way, I guess you could say it follows A Christmas Carol kind of closely, because it does have all of the characters represented. They're just all played by the same guy. But there are a few key differences, namely, the Scrooge character is Rich Little doing an impersonation of W.C. Fields, and he is in the boat and bottle business. He empties the bottles and Bob Cratchit builds the boats. There are a lot of drinking jokes in this, so if that bothers you, then you definitely shouldn't watch it. How are the impressions, by the way? I think they're very good. I can't judge 100% because a lot of the people who are being impersonated, I'm just not super familiar with them, with the way they talk and their mannerisms. But the ones that I am familiar with, I could tell, wow, Rich Little was actually really good at this. Since I'm an old movie fan, I guess it makes sense that my favorite impressions were the Humphrey Bogart and the Jimmy Stewart. And wow, I recognized his James Mason within like 2 words. A few more things about it. This is a musical version. I'd say there were like 5 songs. I think that all of the songs were played straight, except for maybe the typical Office Party song, which was for Fezziwig's party, and Fezziwig was portrayed as Groucho Marx. Is the comedy actually funny? Yeah, I think so. Again, it kind of depends on whether or not you get who the people are that are being impersonated. If you don't, then a lot of the jokes are just gonna fly right over your head. I think that the jokes got funnier as it went along. At first, it was kind of hard to get into it. I mean, the whole thing looks like a play, and there's canned laughter, and then the actors, Rich Little, addresses the camera directly, and there is a lot of that, and it can be very distracting. And it made for a little awkward delivery, I thought, at first, but I think you get used to it, and I just found that the jokes were more enjoyable as it went on. Plus, there was the added enjoyment of anticipating who the next impression would be. So on the whole, I would say, I guess I like this version. I wouldn't make it a Christmas tradition, but it's fun to pull out every now and then and be like, oh yeah, remember this? Oh, I have no idea who that's supposed to be.